Yo guys, welcome to another Danmachi Memoria Freese video. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to restart the, we're going to revamp all of my crappy, trash, cringy beginner guides that I had from God knows when, but they were really poor quality compared to now. Commentary is bad. Information was, for the most part, second hand because I just started the game not long prior to that myself. Now I've educated myself, I've put in the hours, I've gone what I would like to say is above and beyond in terms of learning what I need to about the game in order to pass it on to newer players. So today I didn't know where to start from, so then I figured why don't I do it chronologically. And in the game, once you get past the few tutorial steps, they throw you straight into an unlimited reroll single summon gacha. So so now this video I am going to give you a tier list of who you should be re-rolling for if you want to re-roll at all. The tier list is only going to include units as of now on the 25th of August 2020. What units are currently available on the re-roll gacha. So if you're watching this in the future, it may have updated since then, but the best chance is basically just to go and ask in a Discord or Facebook group as to, you know, how far updated the list has been. As far as I'm aware, I may be incorrect, but sources have told me that the only units not to be added to the general pool gacha is the current this bell here. Other than that, every non-time limited unit has already been added to the general pool. That means there are over 100 units there are over 100 4-stars you could potentially pull from that single ticket rerollable gacha. So where do you start? And if we can just draw attention to my maybe potentially very blurry tier list, I shall explain. So at the very top, God tier, Haruhime. There is no way around it. She, once you have her, she will basically be used in at least 95 to 99% of all of the content you are going to cover. Why? I will explain why. She has a skill 1 that lowers strength and magic, giving you more survivability. She has a skill 2 that increases counter rate and penetration rate, giving you more damage, as well as more heals for herself because she heals on counter, and then a skill 3 that heals as well as extends buffs and debuffs. And then not to mention her special attack gives you 100% strength and magic for 2 turns, which you can then extend with her skill 3. So all out support, no damage whatsoever. I mean, she has a damaging skill, but it does no damage. So falling below that, now I feel like I need to concrete this piece of advice. If you're willing to sit there for God knows how long to reroll, just reroll for Haruhime. It will take you forever. Well, probably it will seem like forever in a way. If you do, however, feel like giving up midway through rerolling for Haruhime, this is where the rest of the tier list comes into it, and I feel like you should understand what units you may be getting from your reroll. If you do not get Haruhime, there are the next tier down, which I've labeled SA supports, and if you're a new player, obviously let me explain, that means special attack support, special ability supports. It's not always an attack. And that is 2 Line variants and a wealth. I am going to actually show you what these units do, so we're going to, I'm clicking on OBS, not the game. So we're going to go into filter. I'm going to show you what these units do. There is Line, and that's Crozo. Where's wealth? There you are. Right. As you can see, I don't have wealth. I don't have the older Line of the two. So we're going to start with the Line that I do have now at level 60. She's still useful at level 60. You don't have to spend too many resources to make her useful. It's all about her skill 2. Allies, that's AoE, fast increase, SA gauge charge gain by 33%, counter rate, critical rate and penetration rate by increased by 20% for 4 turns. Now, let me explain. At this point, you probably don't at this point in the game, if this is where you're at and this is the guide you've looked for, you probably don't know what a special ability is in terms of this game. I understand you probably know what it is by reference, but that will be covered in a different video. All you need to know is there is a gauge that measures how much damage you do and take or heal. Basically, any of your actions fill up this gauge. Once this gauge is filled, you can use a special ability. This increases how fast the gauge is filled by 33% for each member of your team. There are 4 active members of your team at any given point. You do the math. And then obviously counter, crit and penetration rate are all indicative to increase your damage output over a prolonged period. If we come back, basically it doesn't matter what event or content you're going to, this Line will be helpful because all of those attributes for that ability will be helpful no matter what you're doing. If we come to the next Line, this one is considerably older than the previous one. However, if we come down to, is it skill free? It is indeed skill free. Skill free, fast increase, special ability gauge charge gained by 33% for 4 turns, and then a low light magic attack. So ignore the fact that she does a single target low light magic attack. She increases your entire team's SA gauge charge by 33% for 4 turns, and that's the primary reason you want to use her. So to a lesser extent, she does the same thing as the other Line, just not as doesn't provide as much support in that one ability. However, the difference here is her skill 2 also gives you a 30% counter rate and a mid HP heal, so she provides a little bit more coverage in terms of support over a variation of skills. I hope you're following along. I'm not just using big words for the sake of it. Let me just rewind there. Basically what I'm saying is she might not do everything that the other Line does with that skill, that third ability, but her second ability has a heal in which the newer Line doesn't. So she's older, she probably won't have as much longevity in terms of how often you use her, but she's still useful, especially if you're a new player. And then finally, come over here to the wealth. What one is this? That's his special. So skill 1, allies increase SA gauge charge gained by 33%, magic dex and fire attack damage plus 30%. Now this is more offensively supported, like directly offensively supportive. So if you have magic damage dealers on the team, this will be helpful. If you have fire damage dealers on the team, this will be more helpful. Dex is helpful to everyone. It controls how often you counter and crit, and how often you penetrate as well. So now he also brings with him additional support in terms of his skill 2. If you read here, it increases single target and AoE damage by 20% for 3 turns and is an AoE attack. So all 3 units bring support in the same way, but their other skills have a variation of support that they're going to bring. Each are helpful regardless, which is why they're in the tier directly below God tier. Then we go back to the tier list now. Okay, so now we are on the tier just below the SA supports. These are SAC units and general use units. These are units that I feel if you pull them and you do not want to reroll anymore, you can probably stop here. They will help you later down the line, maybe not immediately, but they will help you at some point. So I will go over these units as it's a larger tier and I don't want this video to go on to like 30 minutes. I will say that essentially this you guys can't see my mouse, can you? Okay, so I will say that I'll do the units that I can describe, and then all of the others I will group together. So starting from the far left, these are not in tier order in the bracket. It's just, you know, the tiers going down the order. Within the tier, they're in whatever order. So the first unit here is the Dark Otal. I've put him here simply because he does so much damage and is so self-sustaining in terms of defense and offense. He will probably carry you through most, if not all, content for the most part of the early game. The same can be said for the unit next to him, which is the Light Eyes, who has very hard hitting AoE. She also increases AoE damage. She is a light unit. She does provide support for, no, she doesn't provide, she provides support for AoE units, which is great if you're clearing content, because most content you're going to clear through the early stages of the game are going to be AoE regardless. Next to her we have Elfie. Now Elfie provides a different kind of support. She increases magic and fire damage, but also makes you resistant to being knocked out if your health is above 10%. If you have a healer stacked on top of that, you can constantly recast that, and you'll never be knocked out by a boss if you can keep that up. She also has a super modifier on her AoE skill as well, so she can do damage, and she self buffs too, so that's always good. Next to her we have the, is it Faithful or Faithless Lily? I'm gonna have to check actually. Come over here, we'll have a look. I'm clicking on OBS again instead of the game, I'm sorry. So let's untick wealth and oh, I always miss you. She's so plain looking. I think that's what it is. No, I need to find, I've gone past Lily, haven't I? She's got to be at the top, surely. Oh, duh. Okay, so if we come to, this is the one, Unbreakable Heart Lily. The reason she's on this list is because she has a very distinct skill. Besides the guard and counter rate, as well as, you know, thing for allies, she also has a super modifier AoE, and on top of that, she, is it this one? Yes, it is this one. Sorry, it's her skill too. She has an AoE ability that removes fire, earth, and wind attack damage buffs, excluding assist skills. So she can remove a lot of elemental buffs that you may come across in some of the storyline bosses, which can be useful. She, like I said, she also has a super modifier on her AoE ability. If you, obviously in this video you're not aware of it, I will explain. Super is the modifier in which it measures the value of how hard she's going to hit. It's a modifier, which means super has a numerical value that is multiplied by her stats to give how much damage she's going to do, and super is the highest for basic skills currently in the game. If we come back to the tier list, and I can explain, next to her we have Artemis. Artemis is here simply because she has a plus 35% AoE buff to all allies that gives strength and counter, and we're going to double check this because I'm doing it again. It's OBS. We're going to double check this because I want to make sure that I'm not giving you guys the wrong information. I actually do have her, which is great. Okay, so she removes magic buffs from enemies, which is great if you have come against a boss that buffs their magic, and her skill 3 buffs strength and counter rate by 20%. Strength by 35%, counter rate by 20% for 4 turns. This is obviously going to be really helpful in terms of clearing content faster. I've completely botched that. Let me go back and sort this, shall we? So we're going 4 stars, regular, boom, right. Oh no, we wanted album. I'm so dumb. We'll come over here. Sorry, I've completely messed this up. We're going to album. That's it. So we go to 4-star, regular, adventurers only. Okay, now we're going to come back to the tier list. So we got up to Artemis. Next is Anakitty. So I need to bring the game back up immediately. Anyway, we're going to look at Anakitty. I'm going to explain why she is on this list. If I can find her, this is going to be such a meme now. Just finding the unit. Okay, right. Anakitty has a fast, mid, light, physical attack, ultra. She does what that special ability gauge charge wealth does, but as an AoE medium attack. Basically, it increases AoE and single target damage by 20%. So obviously it's going to buff the rest of your team. She also has an AoE super modifier that increases strength and light damage of herself. So she's a self-buffing damage dealer, and she can provide damaging support for the rest of the team. So she's obviously going to be helpful clearing content later down the line. We're going to go back to the tier list now, as we're getting on a bit in the video, and I want to get this. I don't want to not get it over with. I want to get to a comfortable length for the video. I don't want to go too long. Alicia is here because Alicia reduces incoming damage. She's very good at reducing damage. She doesn't heal, but she does make sure that you take less damage overall. Next to her we have Ahmed. This Ahmed increases physical resist and magic resist. Again, a great buff. I don't know of many general pool units that do have a physical resist and magic resist buff in one skill. Okay, now anything after the Ahmed on this list, so if we look at the bell in the suit there, all from him all the way to the end of the list with the Reveria in the white dress, all of these units reduce element resistance. So Bell lowers wind resistance, the Reveria lowers water resistance, the Mikoto lowers fire resistance, Cassandra lowers thunder resistance, Chloe Lolo lowers dark resistance, Finn lowers light resistance, and I'm pretty sure this Reveria lowers light resistance as well. I don't think we have a regular non-time limited unit that lowers earth resistance. I could be wrong. If I am, please drop it in the comments for other people to see. I will pin it. But yeah, then they're not going to be helpful immediately, but if you do get them, just know they probably will be helpful later down the line when you start separating your teams into element based teams. Obviously, and then we come down to the final tier here. There are no bad tiers here. This is just all of the units in order of how useful they're going to be. This tier here is basically just healers. This is the only reason they're in this list is because they heal. I'm not including regen. I mean they heal. They just have heals. Okay, so in the turn that they cast this skill, they will heal the whole team immediately. That is what they're in this tier list for. It will help with survivability through a lot of the content. A lot of people are just happy to have a healer and then start the game, and then you can use 3 stars to do the damage. Just know that there are 3-star healers, but I'm not doing a tier list on that because there are a lot of 3 stars anyway. I do believe the 3-star Reveria is probably the best way you want to go. So if you want to pull one of these 4 stars, any of these 4 stars, and then just grab a healer, aim for the 3-star Reveria. She's probably your best bet, and you will clear a lot of content to start off with. I hope this has helped you. I hope you can see the actual tier list. If you can't, I will put the link to the tier list in the description below so you can check it out for yourself so you know what you're looking for. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're not. Social media links in the description, and as always guys, I love you and I'll catch you later.